Hi, my name is Alda. I am a non-binary and queer activist, an astrologer and magic practitioner.
Hello, my name is Oliver and I'm a trans guy who makes videos about LGBTQIA+ people where they get to talk about anything that they want that somehow relates to them being queer. In July, I spent a week in Iceland, and apart from visiting like hundreds of waterfalls, I also got to sit down with some local queers and listen to their experiences.
My name is Alda. I am a queer activist, artist, all kinds of different things. I wear a lot of different hats and do a lot of different stuff, basically.
This is how Alda identifies.
So I'm non-binary. I use the pronouns they, them. My sexuality is just queer in general. I'm polyamorous as well. For me, I think I just never really identified with the gendered labels. When I was around 20 or like 21, I sort of finally decided that no, like this, like my assigned gender, just this isn't it. But I didn't really know any non-binary people. There weren't any non-binary people in the media. This was back in 2010, around that time. So I didn't really have anyone to sort of look at and be like, that's what I am, kind of thing. And for a while I was like, well, if I'm not a woman, I must be a man. So I came out as a trans man for a little while and sort of tried that on, and it fit almost as badly. Luckily, I actually did meet a non-binary person at that time, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's what I am. Okay, from then on, it's been a lot easier.
One thing that is very binary in Iceland is their surnames.
We have this official naming committee, and they accept which names are allowed in Iceland. Then a few years ago, we got the Gender Autonomy Act passed through Parliament, and part of that said that names should be gender neutral. They used to be gendered, and now we still have the list of names, but they are all gender neutral, so anyone can choose any name from that list, regardless of your gender marker. So my name, Alda, is my grandmother's name actually. It means sea wave. Then I chose the names Örlygur, which means battle, and Villiljós, which is wild light. And then of course we have the patronymic last names. So I'm Jón Spur, that is child of Jón, which is my father. And Bur is a recent ending that was added on. We have also dóttir and son, so daughter and son. But yeah, a few years ago, somebody came up with this ending of Bur, which comes from the Eddas, the Old Norse texts about mythology. And we were like, well, it fits with the gender-neutral grammatical rules. And yeah, it has a similar meaning.
Alda is a völva.
So völva is a title that comes from, like, we have examples in some of the old Nordic sagas and in the mythology. It is a title that is sometimes a bit difficult to describe because also there hasn't been an unbroken line of this practice, basically. Christianity really did a number on us, like most others. What is going on now is this sort of reawakening and reimagining of this practice that a lot of people are doing in different ways. It is a title that you don't really take for yourself. It's something that you earn by doing the work. Like I say, it is, I hate this word, but like the shamanistic sort of traditions of all kinds of indigenous practices around the world, those are more in line with what a völva does. It's going into trance, it is healing, spirit, work, that kind of thing. And then it can be integrated with a lot of, like, for example, working with herbs, which I do a lot of, working with staves or runes or cards or anything like that. So you can sort of integrate it together. But yeah, völva works more with spirits.
They've done this for a couple of years.
I've always been interested in magic and anything kind of supernatural and, you know, all of these things since I was a child. But a few years ago, I made a friend, Isveld, who is a völva, and they have been teaching me and I've been practicing with them and we've been learning together, and it's been really beautiful. And we've talked a lot about how up until that point they had been mostly working with women because völva is a title that has historically mostly been connected to women. Men would do different kinds of magic. But in the last few years, we've actually gathered a small group of non-binary people who are learning about this. And it's been really beautiful to integrate our queerness into it, because it just makes sense in that way that is difficult to explain. It makes sense that someone who is doing trans work or who is going into different like sort of spaces or worlds or something like that, that we already have this experience of sort of straddling these different worlds within our gender and within society. So I think it's very connected, but not in a way that I would have maybe foreseen or been able to point out in any way beforehand.
We're gonna end this video with a message to you if you're interested in getting involved with magic.
I think the most important thing for someone who wants to get into working with magic or spirituality is to find a community. I think a lot of people are drawn to this as a kind of solitary work, but being able to do it in a community with people who have similar ideals or similar sort of ideas about the world as me, and especially with other queer people, it's really like changed everything, in ways that I have difficulty describing. Just fundamentally, it's completely different. And I think doing this on your own is also just, there are dangers to it. Like, it's easy to get caught up in things when you're working on your own, or sort of go into these really like dark areas of it that have a profound impact on your mental health and your sort of just your spiritual well-being, really, that are so much easier to figure out, to even just to spot and to figure a way out of when you have other people around you. So really like finding a community that truly resonates with you, with who you are, what your ideals are. Also, like, really consider what your ideals in life are. Like, a lot of people, I think, don't really think about that. And I don't know if it's just because I'm a very idealistic person. But that has always been like such an important thing for me, and that has been why I've had troubles finding societies or communities that resonate with me, because I have such firm ideals. But once I found it, like, it took time, it took years, decades. But once I found it, like, it's just incredible.
If you enjoyed watching that video, please like, comment, subscribe and share the video. I really appreciate you showing your love in that way. If you also want to support the channel financially, that's possible via Patreon, but really no pressure. See you next time!